Well, sorry for the delay. We're going to go ahead and get our program started. We just had a few bodies we had to get through today. I mean, school's on 2-hour delay or cancellation, so I guess there's no, I don't mind having that as an excuse today. So welcome to our December nonprofit showcase. It's so great everyone was able to make it out today. I know it was a challenge for many people, but we want to go ahead and get this program started. Thanks first to GISA for sponsoring the lunch, and of course Amazon for sponsoring the nonprofit showcase expo. So, but at this time, I'd like to invite everyone to join me in doing the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You can have a seat. So my name is Colin Hastings. I just realized I didn't introduce myself. I'm Colin Hastings. I'm the executive director of the Pasco Chamber of Commerce. And again, it's great having this event once again. Over the last couple of years, we weren't able to do this showcase because of COVID and other things that were going on with the pandemic, but we're excited to get back in business again. I know GISA was really ecstatic to bring this back. To the history behind this event goes back quite a few years, where the Chamber always celebrated the Christmas holiday, and we'd always have some sort of musical entertainment of such. And then I think one year a board member had the idea of maybe we should focus on having nonprofits and talk about, because it's such a great time to support your charitable nonprofits towards the end of the year, and especially around the holiday season. So we started out where we would have everybody come up and do like a couple minute elevator speech. And so that first year I think we had somewhere around 10, and then following year we had more, and the elevator speech really was like an elevator for a 2-story building. So that really didn't give the nonprofits much chance to really showcase what they have, and there was so much demand. And so a few years ago we opened it up to have an expo style of events, so that there's a lot of one-on-one interaction. You can learn more about how important nonprofits are, and we're going to hear a little bit more about that later today from our keynote speaker, Carrie Green. When you checked in, if you at your business card, or excuse me, your name tag, you will have received a little flyer pamphlet. That's your GISA buck. So there's something that you can tear off the bottom of that rack card, and GISA has been so kind to have that as a $10 donation to the charitable organization that you want to support today. We encourage you to make your donations today for what your annual contributions are to many of these nonprofit charities, and the GISA bucks are just an added bonus. We realize that not everybody carries checkbooks anymore or isn't walking around with a lot of cash, and to help encourage a continuation of donation today, after our luncheon program, you can meet Kelly and I at the front desk, and we can sell you some GISA bucks for the face value of $10. So if you feel like you have a few extra bucks that you want to get rid of today and support our nonprofit industries, we can even invoice you as well too. So we'll circle back to that a little bit later towards the end of the program, but if that's something you're interested in, check us out at the beginning, or at the check-in desk where you came in today. I do want to introduce our elected officials that have joined us today. From Franklin County, we have Commissioner Rocky Mullen. Rocky, if you can stand up, let's give him a round of applause. We have a trio from the city of Pasco. We have Mayor Blanche Barajas, Councilmember Dave Milne, and Zara Roach, Councilwoman Zara Roach. From the Port of Pasco, Commissioner Jim Klinberth. Where's Jim at? There's Jim. Thank you, Jim. And from the Franklin PUD, we have Commissioners Stu Nelson and Bill Gordon. And if we get more snow tonight, Stu will happily come to your house around 3 a.m. and shovel your driveway too. I'm kidding you not, he was doing that today for other folks. And we do have quite a few board members from the Pasco Chamber that I'd like to recognize as well. I know, of course, Rob DiPiazza, who is our president, Delt Clark, Hector Cruz, who's a liaison, Walter Timmons with Banner Bank, Christina Vieira with Columbia Bank, Charles Grimm with Grocery Outlet, Janet Mick as well, too, with Minuteman Press. They're all currently serving on our board of directors. I'm trying to think if I'm overlooked at anybody, but let's give them a round of applause for helping us out. And I know there's a couple past presidents that have joined us too. I saw Joe Roach snuck in. Jason Hogue is supposed to be here. I'm sure we're all sad that Jason couldn't make it today. And then Ryan Brault as well too. But we always like to honor the past presidents for their commitment. John Schultz as well too. Almost forgot about you, John. It's been such a long time. But we really do appreciate all the effort and commitment that you've given to the Pasco Chamber over the years. Quick update before I hand it over to Rob and we do some introductions of some new members. We do have our Ag Hall of Fame coming up real soon, right around the corner. We'll be making the announcements of the inductees for the 2023 Mid-Columbia Ag Hall of Fame probably sometime next week. We're just getting some last minute things put together. The event is here at the Red Lion every year in January, and it's brought to you by the Port of Pasco. It really is a neat event to be a part of. If you haven't had a chance to experience the Ag Hall of Fame and what it's about, even if you're not within that industry, it really is a good chance to connect with that group of people, that industry, that really is our economic driver for Franklin County and Pasco and Tri-Cities for that matter, and continually growing too, if you haven't noticed. So really excellent opportunity just to get to know kind of some of the stories of the charitable and community involvement that a lot of these folks have. And so keep an eye out for that. Hope to see you there. And with that, Rob, I'd like to have you come up. We do have some new members that we want to introduce that have recently joined the Pasco Chamber. I think that is Lisa Godwin with Elijah Family Homes here. Not sure if they made it, but I know that Mary Pacheco with Domestic Violence Services of Benton and Franklin counties, and then Prime Dental too, Geraldine Hernandez. If you guys come up, we want to provide you with your new plaques and welcome you to the Pasco Chamber. Did I get them? He's with me. I called your name. All right, I know Paul.
It's only fair.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, and welcome to the Pasco Chamber. Rob, you can't go too far away. You're up next. So I do want to introduce Rob DiPiazza, who is our president for the Pasco Chamber for 22 and 23 with Hometown Values. He's going to take us through the rest of the program. So let's welcome Rob. Almost took yours.
Thank you, sir.
Did you need something?
I don't need nothing, I don't think. Scotch? Got any scotch? Anyway, welcome everybody. What a wonderful event this is. Am I on? Yes, I'm on, right? Okay, good. A wonderful event that we have here, and it's great to have it brought back. We're going to grow it even more probably next year. Lots of wonderful nonprofits out there. I'm going to remind you, you can go buy some more money, and you can give it to all of the wonderful charities, nonprofits that are out there, because they're all great. Let's see, flip it over. So I'm going to introduce our keynote speaker. Oh, Did I miss something here? All right. Flip. Nope. All right. Whatever he just said. I'm going to introduce our sponsor for this, KISA, and they can come on up here and say a few wonderful words about their wonderful charity.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you all for being here today. Just want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. I also want to extend a huge thank you to the Pasco Chamber for putting on this event. Obviously, as I walked around and talked to all the nonprofit organizations, they really appreciated the fact that this was being done again so that the community could come out, introduce themselves, see what they do. The one thing that I learned is as we talk to all the nonprofit organizations that are here, it's probably easy for all of us to say that in some way, either we have or somebody that we know or a family member has been impacted by a lot of the nonprofit organizations that are in this community. So let's give a round of applause to all the nonprofits out in the expo and what they do. My name is Ben Rutledge. I'm the Vice President of Commercial Banking at GISA Credit Union. And on behalf of GISA, we really just want to say thank you for having us here. GISA is a pillar in the community. And one of our core values that we take to heart is we want to make an impact in all the communities we serve. We do that in a lot of ways. We support our nonprofits. We support our school districts. We support our local heroes. Not only do we give our money, but we also, our employees love to volunteer. They love to get out in the community and help and be board members or just help in volunteer projects with all of our nonprofit organizations that are in all the communities we serve. So we do that in a lot of different ways. As I spoke about before I say that, I want to give a huge shout out to our community outreach team. And you probably know these individuals, but going to all the different nonprofit events that we sponsor throughout the state of Washington, Idaho, and Oregon, these folks do a tremendous job of organizing these events, and they spend a lot of time on the road. So here locally, we have Angie Brotherton, we have Marisol Peralta, we also have Amber Merrill, and then up in our Spokane market, we have Francesca. I can't say Francesca's last name, so I'm not even going to bother. And then we have Raphael, who is in Western Washington, and these folks do a tremendous job. So give a round of applause to our community outreach team. I mentioned our Local Heroes program, and one of the things that we do with our Local Heroes is GISA has a program where if you're a member of GISA, you can have a debit card that has, whether it's police, fire, veterans, whether it's a teacher's card, or even somebody in the medical industry. And so we consider those our local heroes. And every time you swipe a card, we give money back to these organizations. And GISA just recently formed a community foundation. And we recently just awarded grants of over $525,000 to 43 nonprofit organizations. And being on the board of the foundation, we got to read through all the applications and all the different things that were representative. It was amazing. So again, it's extremely important that as businesses and as community leaders, that we all support our nonprofit organizations. So again, buy some GISA bucks, donate your GISA bucks that you already have, and let's help them out in any way we can. So again, thank you all for being here. Thanks for trudging through the weather. Thank God we're not in Spokane because they had 2 feet of snow versus our 3 inches. So we need to be thankful for that. So thank you again for being here. And on behalf of GISA Credit Union, thank you for this opportunity.
All right, I'm back. Thank you. Appreciate that. So, how was lunch? I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, especially the tiramisu. But anyway, it was all very good. So, keynote speaker presentation. Okay, all right, now I'm back on track. I'm good. Carrie Green has over 38 years of experience working with nonprofits. After graduating from Columbia High in Richland, she attended Gonzaga University and earned her BA and MBA. She also worked at Gonzaga for almost 20 years and then at Salvation Army in Spokane before returning to the Tri-Cities as the executive director of Three Rivers Community Foundation. After heading that organization for 15 years, Carrie now works for Senior Life Resources, raising funds for Meals on Wheels. Carrie is a member of the Tri-Cities Industry Kiwanis. I'm a Rotarian, but I won't hold that against you, Carrie. Carrie has been a past president twice, as well as past president of the TCI Kiwanis Foundation. Carrie, excuse me, should have drank some water while I was down there. Carrie has also served on the board of Women Helping Women, was president of the local Planned Giving Council, served on the board of directors for Greater Health Now, and was appointed to the Secretary of State's Charities Advisory Council. She was a founder and serves as the treasurer of the Columbia Basin Nonprofit Association. Hello, Carrie. Where you at? Thank you. I know you.
Rotarian though you are. Okay, let's see, I'm shorty here, so I'm gonna have to, I don't wanna take it out, I wanna move it. I can't move it. You want me to take it out? Ooh, there we go. Okay, all right, can y'all hear me? Good. Well, thank you, Colin. Thank you for to the Pasco Chamber. This is always a delight to be here. You guys are awesome. Everything you do for the community, everything you do for businesses. It's kind of nice to see all the nonprofits here. Again, like Colin said, this is the most that have ever been here. It's good to see them. It's good to see some new ones. I've probably worked with a lot of you, but some new ones I haven't worked with. Remember when Trot and Rascal Rodeo were new? Look at them now, right? They're awesome. And then who would have thought Virgie Robinson was just this great caring human being, and now you've got the Virgie Robinson Scholarship for people there. So we're doing great things in the community. But what I want to talk to you now about is the generosity crisis. And using meaningful connections to solve our greatest challenges. The majority of this can be found in a book called The Generosity Crisis, The Case for Radical Connection to Solve Humanity's Greatest Challenges by Nathan Chappell, Brian Cummins, and Michael Ashley. So the Generosity Commission in 2020 said, the future of generosity in America is not guaranteed. And the Generosity Commission was formed across a number of philanthropies to study donors and their habits, activities, and just the state of philanthropy in the United States. So that is what they do. That's all they do, is they study generosity. Generosity is not guaranteed. In 2021, giving in the nonprofit sector reached $484.85 billion. Seems great. The year before, $471.44 billion. Well, that sounds awesome, except less people are giving. And those people that are giving more money. So strategically, for all the nonprofits here, none of us that got that Mackenzie Scott money, that means less donors are giving. But if it wasn't for the mega donors, like Scott and Bill Gates, that $484 million would be dramatically lower. The share of households donating to charity has been decreasing annually and fell to its lowest level in decades, 49%. 12 years ago, in 2000, 66% of households gave to charity. That is pretty dramatic. So what is contributing to the generosity crisis? Well, first there's the gala economy. And I know a lot of you nonprofits, some of you put on the galas and you raise a lot of money, and that's great. But I want to talk about the Met Gala in New York. And it's a big event. I'm sure the caterers make money, the venue makes money, the dressmakers make money. It costs $30,000 a ticket, I think. That's great. How much did the charities get? Probably not that money. For some organizations, a nonprofit will put the time, the effort, the getting the sponsors to put on a gala, and at the end of the day, maybe they lost money. I'm not a big fan of events, people. I can raise more money talking to you. Events, so the gala economy. Charity watchdogs. All of those organizations that praise you for having a low overhead. Is it really a good idea to have a low overhead? Shouldn't you continually be reinvesting like for-profits do in your people, in your technology, in your ability to do your job, in your mission? I think that's made overhead a dirty word if you have a high overhead. Believe it or not, corporations are the most trusted entities in the United States now. Government isn't trusted, the media isn't trusted. By association, all of our other sectors are not trusted. Businesses are the most trusted, not nonprofits. The IRS, dang, that's standard deduction. It jumped up, that's great, but you know what? I can't itemize now. So if you're going that route and you wanted to deduct your charitable giving, you gotta have a lot of it. You gotta have a lot of other deductions before you can even take advantage of that. Some board members will say, I love this organization and I'll help in any way, but you know, that standard deduction, I just can't give financially anymore. Probably not the right attitude for a board member, but anyway. And donor friction, right? It's not easy. You start talking about the IRS, you start saying, well, you can bundle your gifts and give every other year, and people are like, I don't know what you're talking about, never mind, right? Donor friction ends up at the end of the day not raising any money. Overshadowing gifts. So Mackenzie Scott gave all this money. They're not gonna need my $100, so I need the $100. Why bother? Happiness is trending downward. Now, believe it or not, there is a World Happiness Report, and there's a Gallup Global Emotion Report, okay? The percentage of people smiling and laughing are at a record low, right? I think that has something to do with COVID, but we're not a happy group of people. Happy people aren't generous. Suspicion towards institutions. I'm in anything. Oh, it's Facebook, TikTok, or are they spying on me? What's going on? Is my information safe? If I give you my credit card, is that safe? And the lack of innovation in investments. So, we need to upgrade our donor software or our CRM. We can't afford it. Can you afford not to? Can you afford not to be the best at reaching your clients or the people you serve? Oh, wait, am I supposed to be doing? I'm sorry. Dang. Oh, hang on. Wait, which one? I'm with you, people. There we go. Okay, lack of relationship capital. Taking donors for granted. I'm going to send out a mail. We always get $100 from Susie Jones. I'm going to get $100 this year. I'm not going to talk to her about it. Not even a phone call to thank her. The failure to engage. Do you know how meaningful it is if a board member calls someone to say thank you? They're like, you would have thought the Queen of England called them. They'd never heard of such a thing. And they're very, very impressed and get a very warm feeling about that. Transactional versus transformational gifts. God, I need that $10,000 from Whoops by the end of the year. Do I know anybody at Whoops? No, I'm just going to send them a letter, but I need that. Have you developed a relationship with them? Have you told them what your needs are? Have you reported back to what you used their money last year for? No. Insufficient personalization. I don't know. My dad passed away earlier this year. We're still getting things for James Green. Come on, right? Just pick it up. And ignoring the generosity motivators, emotional, financial, and rational. Emotional is the biggest. If you can develop an emotional connection with someone, with a donor, with an organization, they're going to be invested in your mission. Then there's the connection drift. Stories of two youth, okay? In the Great Depression, kids, right? Their parents were out working, they didn't have a lot of money, the kids had to work too, they wanted to stay out of the way of their parents who were busy working and fretting, and so they would go out and they would play together. And if one person had lunch, they'd all share it. And they'd, go to 4-H and, activities like that because there was no money. So they all did things together, right? Created lasting relationships. They're out of the depression and they made it. And these relationships lasted a lifetime. The 2020 youth, what do they have? They have Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat. They have all the luxuries in life compared to the depression, but they're not developing any relationships, any real face-to-face relationships. Remote work, COVID remote work. I mean, I even have an issue with this at Meals on Wheels. We have some people that can work at home a couple days a week. Whoa, what does that do to the team? I want a team. I want them all to be there. Remote work, people get comfortable with it, and they don't have to see, or except for Zoom, talk to anybody all day. And they get comfortable with that. People aren't going back to church because they can look at church on Zoom, right? And people need to be with people. The death of the mall. Okay, the mall used to be, like when I grew up, we're like, man, okay, Friday night, I deposit my check and I am on the way to the mall, spend whatever's left over, woohoo! I mean, everyone, that's the thing to do. Kids go there and that's their social activity, right? And driving. We would drive to the mall. Okay, boomers, we all had our driver's license by the time we were seniors in high school. Now, 1 in 4 do not have a driver's license by the time they graduate. How do they get around? What are they doing? Well, they're not going anywhere. They're staying at home on their little face things. And the isolation it's not just lonely, it's being disconnected. I don't have anything. And boy, working at Meals on Wheels, we saw that with our seniors. They have Meals on Wheels because they don't have family and they're homebound. And now we're saying you can't visit. Very isolated. It really can affect the psyche. For-profits, y'all are killing it. You are killing it. So you now have value statements. So we have value statements as nonprofits. It's our mission, right? You all now have value statements. So, Patagonia, look at them. They promote not only their product, but their values as well. Ben & Jerry's, Tom's, Bombas, all those, right? So you, in your mind, are participating in a social, in advancing a social problem. Well, you're buying a product. Great. That's awesome. Tesla, same thing. I'm saving the environment. Well, you know what? It did cost $165,000. So I think the Sierra Club, they're not going to miss my $100, right? I am doing the responsible thing. I'm saving the environment by driving a Tesla. I don't have enough money or time for any nonprofits. Businesses, as I said, are now the most trusted source. And they use big data. Look at Amazon. Man, Amazon, drop it in your basket and check out. They've already did everything for me, right? They got my credit card. They know where to ship it. Prime's getting it there in 2 days. I mean, man, they are really outrunning us on that. And they use the data in predictive means. How many times have you go, I think I need an air fryer. You look it up. And then every other ad on Facebook is for air fryers, right? That's kind of spooky, but they are, you click on it. And have you ever noticed when you buy that air fryer, you never get another ad for an air fryer? How do they know that? I don't know. Spooky. Okay. The attention economy, that's how they're doing it. The attention economy is built on the backbone of tracking people's behaviors. The longer users are engaged digitally, the more data they can collect. I don't know how they do it. It's that magic ghost in the machine thing, but they're doing it. So how do you engage people for longer amount of time? Keep them mad. Like Facebook. What's the one that, it's escaping me now, the one that the guy just bought back? Twitter. Lots of angry Twitters now, right? The more people feel outrage and the fight and are fighting, the longer they stay on those platforms. So the more information can be harvested. Social media companies turn misery into money for themselves. And such negative feelings are again why we have distrust in government, in the media, in these platforms. People don't even trust their families anymore. You can go on Facebook and find people that are arguing amongst themselves. Or, now they have these little cue cards for what not to discuss when you go to holidays, right? I mean, okay. This is all bad for nonprofits. The rock of philanthropy is in relationships. How can a society fearful and distracted by social media and distrustful of everyone around them create and sustain necessary relationships for generosity? Make generosity personal. Like it or not, as nonprofit leaders, we are fighting for the hearts and wallets of the for-profit. We are in competition with them, especially now that they have their social platforms as well. They're solving a crisis, we're solving a crisis, right? It's the competition for connection. We need to figure out we need to figure out why people give, not why we think they give, right? You come up with this, I've done it myself, I come up with this great idea, blah, blah, blah. Oh man, that fell flat. They weren't interested in that because I didn't ask them. I didn't know them. It was an idea I came up with, not them. Consumer psychology. People these days expect efficient communications personalized to them. Again, like, how many emails do you get? Oh, Carrie, this is perfect for you. Like, inserted my name, and all that. Philanthropic psychology begins and ends with the individual. If you focus on who they are as a person and creating experiences around them to make them feel good about their giving. Use your data. Flip this around a little bit here. Okay, so I have a little example. Tim and Simone are married. They met, not at Thelma alma mater, stupid predicative typing. They met at their alma mater. And so it was an expensive school. They got scholarships. They had to live off campus and drive in. But they graduated, and so they have a couple jobs each, right? They're trying to make it. On the same day, they both get solicitations from their alma mater. Not Tim and Simone. Tim, Simone. The university doesn't know they're married, right? Okay. They're asking for a donation, suggested donation of $100 for the new business school. Current business school has $10 billion in the bank. So, and they didn't even go to the business school, right? So, totally not in tune with who they're talking to. And I realize the university has thousands of alumni, and so the data situation is very complex, right? Now, it could have gone better if they had better data. So sometimes universities have, you can go online and say, I'm class of '84 and this is my fondest memory. They got things like that. Even the high schools do that. So Tim and Simone met in college and got married. They're sweethearts, did not go to the business school. So maybe if they collected that data and knew they lived at the same address, maybe they have a Valentine's ask. Hey, all of you sweethearts that met on campus, right? That's going to appeal much more to the warmth of them instead of turning them off by saying, geez, you guys don't even know who I am. It is work to collect data, and you need the right tools and you need enough people to collect it. But investing your time developing these significant connections is literally going to pay you dividends. I'm pretty sure they would have given to a Sweetheart Valentine promotion. They're not getting anything from this one, right? By using the data, you're creating a more, I know it sounds a counter, data is cold and unfriendly, but by using it, you're creating a more personal relationship, and they're not just a faceless ATM. You need to understand your donors on an intimate level. And so, at a university, right, they've got probably 12, 15, advancement people. If you're, Trot or some of these other groups, take your top 20 donors, right, and start creating that intimate relationship with them. Okay, it's not about the donor. It's about the person who gives. Because before they're a donor to you, they're a person. They're a parent, they're an attorney, they're a health worker, they're a liberal, they're a patriot, they're blah, blah, blah. They're all those things before they're a donor. So you need to be able to have an appeal zoned in on what that person is and make them feel good about their first gift. Now, when they are a donor, now you need to develop that relationship even deeper. Because you're developing their donor identity, right? So if you talk to them like you know them, if you talk to them like they see themselves, you are helping them to create their legacy with your nonprofit. So you are making them a better person. You're getting the money and you need it, but they're a better person because you are helping them with their legacy. I'll give a couple of examples that are maybe a little easier to understand how you collect the data. Surveys, great way to collect data. So a Christian aid charity, they sent out a survey asking about what are the most important predictors in your giving to this organization. And two of the top were Christian identity is important and the connectedness with God is important. So this company did a mailing package for them. Same letter, and it had a lot of those, how, connected to God is important. It had a lot of those elements in the letter. But the reply form, they had, these are called booster elements. And so, for example, this one said, I think it said, yeah, you could check these off. Yes, mending broken relationships connects me to God's heart. Yes, piecing together fractured lives is a vital part of what being a Christian means. So those were the top two things, right? They sent out 4 mailings, everything same except the reply card. The first reply card had both of those. Second reply card had one of those. Third reply card had the other one. Fourth reply card had none of them. The reply card that had 2 of the boosters increased that giving by 102%. So you surveyed them, this is what they said. You talked to them like they like to be talked to. They're with you. Another one is an organization in Spain. Spain, first 2 weeks after COVID, they shut down. They sent out surveys. They had 7 questions. One of them was, how are you feeling right now? How are you feeling? How are you feeling, right? They had never had so many responses that were negative. They were like sad, concerned, worried, right? Then they asked, how do you feel about being part of our organization? All of those negative words melted away, right? So they were getting, even during COVID, they were getting warmth from being part of your organization. So that was just a survey. Then they took a little portion of the group that they were sending to, and then no ask. And then they added an ask with these questions. They got a 56 greater response than their previous mailing. So you're making, you don't have to know them personally, like you could do a survey. This went out to 1 million people in Spain, right? You don't have to know them personally, but you ask them questions and you talk to them like they want to be talked to, so they think that you know them, okay? The warm glow we talk about. Greater Good magazine explains that generosity is good for our personal health. Now, come on, nonprofits. Anybody that has included you in their will, haven't they lived twice as long as you expected? That's what happens, right? One study in 2008 demonstrated that by giving money just to another person, instead of spending on ourselves, improves happiness. Christmas is all about me giving the gifts. A little bit about me getting gifts, but a whole lot about me giving the gifts, right? Study after study reveals that these joyful feelings, referred to as the warm glow, I didn't make that up, aren't just made up. They have studied the brain. It is tied to your neurochemistry. Psychology today explains that doing good causes the brain to release endorphins, just like physical activity, right? Stays with your whole body. The article, Being Generous really does make you happier, articulates generosity leads to greater happiness, which in turn improves clinical outcomes and promotes longer lifespans, right? Giving to nonprofits is good for your health. So, do we have a crisis or not? Caring for people and stewarding their capacity to love humanity is at the core of what we do. And ultimately, it's the only way that we as a society will both grow philanthropy and sustain it. So it's all about the personal, using the data. We don't have the capacity of Amazon, but we do have the capacity to reach out to our top 10, top 12, top 100 donors and just ask them, what do you like about our organization? What do you want to do with your philanthropy? What would you like to see in the future? And then respond back to them that you listen to them. It sounds pretty easy, right? Okay, that's all I got for you. I think I lost your clicky.
Thank you very much.
Okay. You're welcome.
Good job.
Thank you. Oh, betcha. Here's some. How many winners do we have?
Just two.
Just two.
First one. That's the first one. And then this is the second. I'm not looking. Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. So, quick reminder, it's been mentioned several times, but don't forget to spend your GISA bucks. They were a wonderful charitable gift from GISA to all of these wonderful nonprofits. So don't go home with it in your wallet by accident. Also keep in mind that you can go to the front, and if you want to buy some additional ones to give to other charities, because it's really hard to pick just one, Colin and Kelly will be up there to help you with that. And you can put it on an invoice if you're a member of the chamber, and we'll figure that out. We'll figure out the billing. Thank you, Red Lion, for hosting us today. The food was awesome. You can just keep making that particular meal once a month. It was good. It was really good. Sorry.
Yeah, don't read that. That's from last month.
Okay. And thank you for your presentation as well from GISA, giving us some ideas about what you guys are doing over there. We got a couple door prizes.
Yep.
That's what everybody comes for, right? Really?
Before we do that, here, so that's the first one, and that's the second winner. But before we do that, get this back up to speed here. I do want to thank GISA. If you haven't looked, those are little door prizes for everyone. So everyone's a winner. There's some nice chocolates there. Thanks, GISA, for providing that. If you haven't done so already, the little GISA bucks, every nonprofit has a little Christmas bag that is on their table. Go ahead and place it in there, and then we'll get it squared away from there. One other thing, I've totally drawn a blank. What was it? I wanted to thank our sponsors, of course, as well, too, Amazon and GISA and Lowe's for the poinsettias. So I forgot this year that I usually put a little dot underneath your coffee cup. I didn't do it, so don't start grabbing your coffee cup. So you're going to have to just fight over it on the table. So, but please take those poinsettias with you. Thanks to Lowe's for doing that. So let's go ahead and do the... Yeah, rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, there you go. Rock, paper, scissors.
So we have two door prizes today. First one is a nice bottle of wine with a nice carrying case, and the next one is a gift card. I think it's a $100 gift card from Amazon. So the first winner is
Sarah with STCU, and I'm not going to, pardon? Hishland. Oh, it's easier than it looks. Oh, there you are. Come on up and get your goodies. The second one is, don't look like it, but it's from Domestic Violence Services.
You guys can fight over that too. I don't see a name on there.
There's no name on the business card, but we'll let you slide this time.
Yeah. There you go. Thanks, sir.
All right, so that is the conclusion of this particular luncheon. We appreciate everybody being here. I'd like to personally wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. And let's go give away some money. Thank you.